Hi everyone, I'm Janet Baker, and on behalf of the Monticello Corporation, makers of Paper Tiger and Digital Tiger, we want to thank you for attending today's webinar. We are honored to have with us today Ann McGurty, who will be presenting to give you a general overview of Digital Tiger and what we are planning to do through Paper Tiger Online. Of course, it is impossible to give every detail in a one-hour webinar, but we will try to give you as much information as possible. Our developers have released Digital Tiger to a controlled beta testing, meaning that we are inviting by email to a controlled number of people at a time. We want to get past beta so that we can push this to the main app as soon as possible. So if you've already been invited to beta test, we need your feedback. The responses we've received so far has been great, so we believe it to be working pretty well. Please be patient if you've signed up to be in beta and have not already received an email invite. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Ann. She is a CEO of Strategize and Organize. Ann is a professional speaker, productivity expert, and author. She is nationally recognized as an expert and works with people throughout the U.S. in person and virtually to customize a system to help make their lives more productive and organized. Ann has graciously offered 30 free minutes over the phone for anyone interested in more professional one-on-one assistance, for an opportunity for you to let her know what your needs are, and she can let you know what she can do for you. If you want to learn more about Ann and her services, please visit her website at www.strategizandorganize.com. If you do not already have Paper Tiger, you can purchase from Ann's affiliate link, which I will copy into the chat section for you to pick up, and I will also be pasting her contact information into the chat section. Since we provide these webinars to you for free, this will help her offset her time. We appreciate your feedback on the webinars, which is helping us to be as supportive and helpful as possible, because it helps us to know what we are not answering in the webinars. Please keep in mind, though, that the webinars will not address every workflow issue. The custom details are what you need Ann's services for. So please give her a call. In addition, all attendees for today's webinar will be entered into our Apple iPad contest, which ends at midnight, September 30th. If you have questions during the presentation, there is a question section in the lower right corner of your screen where you can submit questions. Note that there is a drop-down box for who you send your questions to, either to all attendees or to the presenters only. We will try our best to answer questions during the call today, but if we run out of time, we will be posting the questions and answers on our blog under the webinar category. This is also where we will be posting the webinar recording as soon as it is available. And thank you so much for your time and dedication to teaching others about Digital Tiger and how it will work with Paper Tiger Online.
Thank you, Janet, and thank you for such a wonderful introduction. I want to start by saying also thank you to everyone who is attending this call. As a productivity consultant, I know one of the most valuable commodities that we have is our time, and I want to make this time as efficient and as educational as possible. So thank you for being here from the West Coast to the East Coast, and from what I understand, sometimes people are calling in internationally. So thank you so much. How timely the Digital Tiger is. The business world is changing, and people are wanting to know how they can work virtually anywhere. People are outsourcing their staff, their alliances with other people that help them do their work, and it is having so much trouble organizing all of that information. I want to give you just a quick example. Literally, just last night, I was at an event, and I met a business owner of an export business he lives in Dallas, and his business is in Dallas, and he has an export business that is around the world, primarily in Asia. He has contractors that do his bookkeeping. He has architects. He has designers. He has people from all different types of vendors all over the nation and the world. So he said to me, can you get me organized? I've got all of this paper, and we now have all of these electronic files going back and forth, and nobody can find it. Well, I told him, absolutely. And you can have that solution too because of the collaboration of Paper Tiger and Digital Tiger, and we'll tell you a little more. You can do it as well. So welcome. Based on our surveys, when we go out there and people log into the Paper Tiger, they tell us that a little over 71% are having trouble finding and keeping organized, both digitally and paper-wise. That's a lot. That's 3/4 of the population of our statistics of the people that we survey. And I find that when I'm out working with clients or just out in general in social and business environments, that is what people are saying. Most people that we work with, although there's many large organizations, a lot of people within the solopreneurs to the business size of about 25 people are often kind of stuck in that area where they're really struggling to make their business be more efficient with paper and the electronic information. But as I said, large, major Fortune 100 companies can use these systems as well. What the people are saying out there? Well, people are saying that paper, yes, it has been out of control. They have found that using the Paper Tiger, they finally have a system to organize paper, their CDs, and inventory, anything that is just stuff that needs to be categorized and put in a specific place. Also, having a daily process in place to maintain your system helps. And by now, people are getting overwhelmed with the electronic information, and they want to find a system that helps them find it no matter where it's stored. So the digital has become a problem, and I've noticed that mostly like in the last year to 2 years. So digitally, though, people are saying, I have pieces of information that are on disks, on backup drives, in emails, on hard drives, even on the cloud, via products like Evernote. People have it on their iPad. But to find the information readily and in one place is really where people are struggling. I was talking to another person yesterday, and she is a designer, and she has 3 PCs. And I said, how on earth do you ever find anything? And she looked at me and she said, Ann, it's a problem. So we have a solution for people who are using lots of different resources for capturing digital information and just don't know how to manage it. So what we've come up with is Digital Tiger. What is Digital Tiger? Digital Tiger is an app that works in conjunction with Paper Tiger online. Some of you may have the older version of Paper Tiger Desktop, which was a downloaded software product that stays on one computer. That will not be working with Digital Tiger. You will need to upgrade or transfer over to Paper Tiger Online. Paper Tiger Online came out a couple of years ago, and what it did, it allowed you to use the methodology and indexing system of the Paper Tiger, but in a web-based environment. So you could set up your physical Paper Tiger inventory online in your office and go home, access your web address, and find your paper information. Well, Paper Tiger Online is now attaching to a program called Google Docs. Now, for a lot of you, you know what Google is, google.com, Google Find Anything. Well, what Google is really known for is that the searchability. It is probably one of the most powerful search engines out there. And Paper Tiger Online, or Paper Tiger in general, is known for their specialty of finding anything in 5 seconds less. As quick as possible, you can find things. So they made a really, really wise decision to work with the next best search engine, which is Google. Like your smartphones, you can download an app that with your Paper Tiger Online that will connect to Google Docs. When you have this app connected with your Paper Tiger Online, you will be able to virtually search any of your paper and electronic files anywhere. Now, one of the things about using Digital Tiger and Paper Tiger is you still need to keep things simple and store all of your electronic information in one ecosystem. And I use ecosystem because that's what Google is. Google is a collaboration that brings your email, your documents, your PowerPoints, your Excel, your photos, all under one umbrella. You have the big picture, big enterprises that large corporations have available to you through Google Docs. Another thing about Google, that works with the ecosystem of just Google. Now, Google also offers the most economical storage available. So you don't have to worry anymore about keeping everything on your local hard drive or buying extended backup systems, because Google has the most inexpensive storage available. And I'll go through a chart on that here in just a little bit. So we've got a little bit of a program here where you need the three major products of Paper Tiger Online. You will need to have a Google account, and you will be able to trigger your Digital Tiger. Again, I'll go into a little bit more detail here in a minute. How we get started. This is all about synchronizing your paper and your electronic files. As I said, people need to go to the papertiger.com, and I'm sorry, it's very gray, and set up your Paper Tiger Online account. I was going to hyperlink to this website, but there is an audio video, and I didn't want it to interfere with our webinar here at this time. So if you are new to this entire concept right now, the first step that you're going to need to take is set up your Paper Tiger Online account. If you have a desktop downloaded software of the Paper Tiger, you will need to now get this other product to go forward. Once you have a Paper Tiger Online account, what you want to do is you want to set up a Gmail account. And now I'm going to link to that. Going to a Gmail account is as simple as this. You go to your browser, and I have chosen to use Google Chrome. Google Chrome is my preference at this point because I'm doing everything Google these days. And what you do is you get into the screen, which you can find through any search engine, google.com, and find Create an Account. So if you do not have a Gmail account, go ahead and do this at this time. You can have multiple Gmail accounts, and what we're going to want you to decide, though, is which one you're going to want to synchronize to your Digital Tiger account. So you've set up an account, and you're all set. So you've signed up with the Paper Tiger Online. You've set up a Gmail account. Once you have done that, then you can go into your Paper Tiger Online account and activate your now beta Paper Tiger with the Digital Tiger access. Now I'm going to turn it over to Janet, and we're going to do a demo straight from Monticello on how to activate your Digital Tiger account.
Okay, Ann, did you switch screens with me?
Oh, thank you. Oh. Darn it. I always do this, dang it. There we go, hang on. Okay, now you are the presenter now.
Okay, you're seeing my screen?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Okay, what we're doing here is we're logging into beta Paper Tiger Online, and it's again in beta. So the first thing that we are doing, we're going to click on the Accounts Upgrade Invoices page or tab there. We're going to activate Digital Tiger with Google Docs. Click on that link. And
excuse me, Janet, I don't see your screen.
How about now?
I see it. Okay, so I believe our audience does as well. Thank you.
Okay, so do you want me to back it up?
Yes.
Okay. All right, here we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we're logging into our Digital Tiger screen, and they've chosen Paper Tiger Tutorials at gmail.com to log in. We see right here on the Google Docs link that we're not active yet, so we're going to the Accounts tab. On the Accounts page, you will find a link to Activate Digital Tiger with Google Docs. You click on that link. If you're not already logged into your Google Gmail account, you will log in here. You're on the page here where it shows where you are, the Google Accounts page that shows whether you want to grant access to that specific account or not. And you can see the account up there. Then you click on the Grant Access tab button there. And then on the next page, you'll see that the flag up there that says it was successful. You'll see also on that where you can disconnect your Paper Tiger account again if you need to. Then back to the dashboard, we're going to click on the, you'll see here the Google account Docs is now active. We want to click on the database, your Paper Tiger Online database. And then on this page, you'll see we want to click on the database preferences and so that we can activate the digital search button. Once we click on the yes button, we're in that database, and we're going to update that database settings. So now we'll be able to conduct searches for both Paper Tiger Online and digital, what you have already scanned and uploaded to Google Docs.
Okay, I'll take it from here, Janet, and I'll go into a little bit more detail here, and I'll show them my actual account, and we can do some uploading, and then we'll transfer it back to you to show them how to scan.
Okay.
How's that?
I need to change presenters again.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yep. Excellent. I know that's a little quick for people, but you'll see how quick and easy that is. And in our 30-minute free consultation, I'll be very happy to walk you through that if you need some help. You'll see how easy that is. All right. Okay, we're back to me. All right, we're back to showing my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, everyone. So now what you've done is we're going to review that we've set up a Paper Tiger account. We have Gmail account, and now we've gone into a beta version of your Paper Tiger Online account where you can activate your Digital Tiger. I want to point out, though, at this point, and just for now while we're in beta, that when you are using the Paper Tiger database, it will not allow you to do any updates or edits to your database because in beta you will lose that. No, you will definitely lose it, but we don't want to take that chance. All right, so once you have those foundational pieces together, what you can then do is you can upload and convert to So let me show you a little bit about what happens when you are in your Gmail account and how you are going to have access to this ecosystem of Google. All right. Okay, this is my Play account. I got all kinds of things in here. I get all kinds of mail in here, so let's have fun with it. If you see something a little too personal, it's okay. All right. Victoria's Secret. Anyway. All right, what we have is my general Gmail account. And in Gmail, this is what most people are familiar with. They're also familiar with Google Calendar. And in Google Calendar, you can see your general calendar that's synchronized with your Outlook. Coming soon, you'll be able to synchronize your calendar with your Digital Tiger. But that's coming up a little bit later down the line. So what you just saw me do is I jumped into an area called Documents. Now what I've done with Documents is you're going to be set up with a pretty generic looking screen in your Google account. You'll have a Gmail, you'll have a blank calendar, blank documents, everything else here will be blank, just like as if you had just downloaded all new Microsoft products. Okay, and I'm referring to Microsoft products because we will be synchronizing with Microsoft products, and the two of them do work together. So we're not converting you entirely from that platform, but you'll see how they work together. With Documents, what I've done here is in your Google environment, you can now upload files or folders from your hard drive. You also can drag files right into your document list that are on your hard drive. So if you have something that is in your computer on your regular desktop, you can hit upload and then files, and you can go into, say, Documents, and you can go into just your Documents library and decide that you want to put one of these files over in your Google Doc. I'm going to do Interview. I just did this yesterday, so that should be in there as well. We're going to upload Interview, and one of the key things here is you want to indicate the settings. You want convert documents, presentations, etc., corresponding into a Google Docs format. The key here is that as you did with the Paper Tiger, you used keywords that would help you in the indexing of finding that document. Converting things to a Google Doc format allows it to be searchable within the document. We want to convert text from PDFs and image files to Google Docs so that when you use the finding system of the Digital Tiger in collaboration with Google Docs, you'll be able to dig deep into the content of whether it's a document presentation or a PDF. You can make this personal choice if you want to use this setting before each upload or not. So we're going to go ahead and start uploading it, and you'll see that this file is uploading into my Google Docs environment. Okay, finishing. It's taking a minute. Okay, I'm going to type in. I get a little impatient, but sometimes okay. As you can see, it's not picking it up just yet. What happens, I'll give you the basics of what we're doing is we're uploading information, and it is now being stored in your Google Docs environment. So later down the line, when you want to find this information, it will be in your Google Docs environment. So how do we get there? What I'm going to do is I am going to go now let me just give you one other example here. You can also upload folders. And one of the things that people need to know about Google is it only stores so much information. So how do you back up? How do you have storage? There's an option to add storage under Google Docs. And I want to show you how inexpensive it is. You can get pretty basic storage for free. 20 gigabytes is what I currently have. You can see it's only costing me $5 a year. So not only do you have one of the most inexpensive ways to store your information, but it is backed up by the Google ecosystem. So your information is stored and it's accessible and it's backed up. All right. When you're in Google Docs, a lot of people, maybe you don't have Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint. Google Docs does have some fairly rudimentary workable documents and different forms and drawings that you can use to work off of. As I said, though, they are very rudimentary, but they are accessible for you if you're in a pinch and you need to create a new document. All right, so now that we have a little collection here of documents, I also want to point out that I also have collections over here which might be similar to your folders in Microsoft. Google looks at it a little differently because it's a flat file where everything, whether it's organized in collections or not, it really doesn't matter because what happens, it still just digs deep in finding it no matter where it is. But if I wanted to organize my files, I easily can. So for instance, I had this file here for interview questions, and that was for a client that I was working with. I have this right here where I have a document, and what I can do is I can organize it, and I can add it to a folder, and I can say, for instance, I can say it's an article. I can apply the change, and now it's under articles for clients' references. So if I got very big with all my storage, what I can do is go into that collection, and what you're going to see is the search has now been narrowed in to just that collection. So sometimes you may want to be aware of where you're doing the search. If I go back to general collections, it'll look for everything. All right, what I'm going to do now is I am going to go to my Paper Tiger account. Up a big party going to wrong one. Okay, here's my Paper Tiger online account. This is the one that I just set up for myself. And notice here, it's going to say beta. So we know that I cannot, as we said earlier, I cannot open the database looking for, be making changes to this area. So for instance, if I want to do a new file, I can do it, but it's not going to be kept into the conversion when we get there later. So you're looking at just here at my basic digital Tiger and Paper Tiger search. And right now, all I'm doing is looking at my locations. And as we did earlier with Janet here, we did the database preferences, and I had activated my digital Tiger search. If I was having a problem searching for something, you might want to go back and check that and see if that wasn't marked off. So what I want to do here is, this is just a little sample, and what I want to do is I want to use the word travel. Because I know somewhere I have a document referring to travel. How do people get organized when they're going on a trip? How do they pack their travel stuff? So I'm going to type in the word travel for the search. Hit my search button. And what we found is I have a lot of information in my Google Docs. And I've gotten to the point where I have very little paper, but I do have a file in my action file for travel 2011. And in there I have files regarding India and Buenos Aires. So I know that if I'm looking for that information, I can go to my Paper Tiger action file, or I can now look at what travel information I have in Google Docs. Okay, what's really cool here though is look at this. We've got files in here that there's nowhere to be seen the word travel. Crazy, right? Well, let's look at Pack It Up. I want to see, that's really the file that I was looking for because I was looking for that packing list for when we're traveling. And you'll see that within the Paper Tiger, it now switched me over to my Google Docs environment. And even though the word travel is not there, I highlighted this earlier for you to see this, but it knew that the word travel was here. If I only had the word traveling, it would have picked it up because the word travel was within it, and same with traveler's checks. So now I, through Google Docs and Digital Tiger, was able to find an electronic file that I had. In the past, I would have printed out all of these articles and lists and put them in a Paper Tiger file called Articles for Newsletters. So if you have paper files out there, I'm going to switch to something here. If you have Paper Tigers out there and you want to get them into your electronic files, now you've got a safer place to move your information from the paper files to the digital files because you have a centralized place where you can put them. All right, now another thing that I want to show people is we have Google Docs, but some people are still very attached to using their Microsoft Word programs because, as I said, they're much more sophisticated than the Google programs. Darn it. So, darn it. Okay, so what we're going to do is there is a product out there called Google Cloud Connect. And it's going to be a little difficult for me. You know, it's not working for me. Well, Google Cloud Connect, oh, I got an idea. Google Cloud Connect is something that we download to our, okay, we go to Google, hang on please. Okay, I'm in Gmail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to something called, let's back out of this, Documents. I'm going to look at all my general documents. Say, for instance, I want to look at my document here, Pack It Up. You're looking at it in your Google Docs. Now, what I want to point out, though, is that you are in the foundation of Google Docs workmanship here. So if you're going to be editing it, you're using the limitations of Google Docs. And there's simple things that are missing, but as I said, if you're doing something just for a quick draft, it's easy to use. But what you can do with Google Docs, so you still have your comfort zone, is you can download it then to Word, and what it's going to do is it's going to go to your hard drive, assuming that you have Microsoft installed, and it is going to go to your Word document within Microsoft. My computer crashed the other day, so I had to reload Word 2003. It's been a rough 48 hours, but I really wanted to make sure I had a good sample here to show you. Now, what I did is once you set up a product called Google Docs, excuse me, Google Cloud Connect, and I recommend you go to google.com and do a search for Google Cloud Connect, and then you will get a download link for Google Cloud Connect. By the way, if you want my free consultation for 30 minutes, I will also send you a tip sheet on how to get all these links and how to get your basic foundation started. Once you have Google Cloud Connect on your Microsoft, what happens is you can go in there and now update the document. Now we've dated it, and what we're going to do is, if you're in there for a couple of minutes, it automatically starts to synchronize. So when you hit synchronize, what happens is that document is now syncing with Google Docs right now. So when you go back into Google Docs, this file is updated. So those are some of the tools that you're going to be needing to keep your Paper Tiger and Digital Tiger synchronized and with the least amount of interruption to how you're working today. Okay. When I was talking about the cost earlier, you know, I've talked to people over the last year or two, and so many of them are just overwhelmed with all the different options that are out there. People have, I'm using the examples here of Office Drop and Knowledge Tree, and what these are private companies that, you know, provide storage, and they provide similar concepts to Google's online storage, but it's just a different way, and it's maybe a more proprietary type of system to be using. But what I want to point out is look at how darn expensive it is. Google Online Storage is 20 gigabytes for $5 a year. With the competitors, for the same amount, we're looking at half the amount for $10 a month, or the same amount for $95 a month. You got to wonder, if you got $50 a year for up to 200 gigabytes, and excuse me, for $50 per year, you can get 200 gigabytes for $50 a year. Imagine how much that would cost with the other companies. This one, it would be 48 times more at $2,400, and with this other company, it's 94 times as much, almost $5,000 per year. So it's no wonder people are overwhelmed, because people sometimes think price maybe it offers more, but not necessarily when you've got the Google ecosystem behind you, and the makers of Paper Tiger helping you collaborate that information with their product, the Digital Tiger. So it is probably one of the least expensive ways to go. Okay, well, what I talked about here was how you can upload your information from your hard drive and how you can still continue to create new documents within your Microsoft environment. But now people are ready to say, I am ready to just start scanning my paper, and anything that doesn't have to be in paper form, let's get it scanned. So we're going to have a demo here from the Monticello company on how easy it is to use a scanner to input your files into electronic format into Google Docs. So I'm going to switch presenters here. Janet, we're going back to you.
Okay, I'm ready whenever.
We're going for our scanner.
Let me know when you can see my screen, okay?
I can see your screen.
Okay. I think we're ready.
Okay, look at that handy scan snap.
Yeah, what we're showing here is just how small and compact the ScanSnap 1500 is. It works the same for the Mac and the Windows. And you just connect the wiring in the back, download the software, and you're ready to go. And here you see we have a relatively large size file, and you can see how quickly the ScanSnap pushes those documents through just with a push of a button. And you see the pages are two-sided, and the ScanSnap 1500 scans both sides. Okay, you can see how quickly the ScanSnap scans all of those papers. And then it goes over to the screen. And here the ScanSnap the manager is just working through the pages and getting it uploaded. It's also OCRing it, which is making it searchable as it goes. And you will see that you can, later on in just a second, you'll see that it's, you can choose whether you want to put it in your folder or email, or change some of the settings, or actually send it directly to Google Docs here from this screen. Whatever you want to say. Okay, and here we're just showing the different setting screens when when you scan to your folder. You can actually change the file name from here. You can choose where you want to save it. And click on the Save button. Then you can open it from wherever you've saved it and go from there. Mm-hmm. And here we're showing how you can upload files, which I think that Ann's already showed you, and the different options that you have in Google.
All right, so now that document is in Google Docs. It was that easy.
Yep, and again, there's the pressing. So I'm going to pause it here.
Okay.
And Ann, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay, great. Okay, so thank you, everybody, and thank you, Janet. I really appreciate it. You're giving me back. All right, there we go. All right, and again, if you're not using the scanner and you want to use the Microsoft applications,
hey,
I
Ann.
recommend. Yes?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we can barely hear you. Are you speaking to the microphone?
Oh, really? Click to mute. Am I better now? Is it better now?
Yes, you're good. Thank you.
Okay, well now we're good. Okay. we were talking about how well this new little microphone that I have is. Okay, so now what you saw are the basic files of a PDF file, a document file, and one of the things that's often come up with people is they want to have access to their Gmail, and their Outlook, their email in general. And how do you collaborate that? Well, comparing the two products, if you have Outlook, what you currently need is a big business enterprise. You need a product which is called Microsoft Exchange to collaborate and access. It's costly and sometimes it's clumsy. And there are multiples of add-ons available also, like Clear Contacts and Exabini, which is inbox backwards. And then there's sharing calendar difficulties when you use that type of collaborative environment. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying that sometimes it can be a little difficult and expensive. Personally, I have been using a third-party MS Exchange product for probably about 4 years. And that way I have a way to access my email anywhere fairly inexpensively. It costs me about $20 a month. But then when I add other people into my virtual environment, I have to pay $20 a month for them. So that can get quite costly when you have a web person with their own email, you have a virtual assistant, you have sales associates, you have other consultants. It can get quite expensive. With the Gmail, the collaboration is essentially the same functionality. The difference is, as we had looked at here just a few minutes ago, it's inexpensive. You can access it anywhere. There's minimal fees, if any, depending on how small your company is. And calendars are posted easily for collaboration or even website use. So the keywords here are access anywhere and collaboration. And those seem to be the biggest buzzwords out there today with organizations. The Gmail finding piece of Digital Tiger is coming soon. It is not available right now, but that is part of the development that we can look forward to here at a future time. I want to go back to the point of backup. Now, backup I'm still amazed how people do not have backup systems in place. You do have the security with Google, their secure environment for backup. Now, we also have, if you want to keep things on your hard drive, I want to recommend a product called Mozy, mozy.com. And Mozy allows you to export all your databases to, back up regularly, automatically to their website, and you can access your information immediately. As I said earlier in this webinar, my computer crashed about 2 days ago, and I ran and got the second computer from my technical guy, and I downloaded my files off of Mozy, and within a couple of minutes I had it, because I have not yet converted all of my files to Google Docs. Since I have 2 systems, it was necessary to have 2 backup systems. I don't have my statistics here, but I know that Digital Tiger also has not a proprietary, but they have a, oh, Janet, do you know it offhand what backup system you're using with Digital Tiger and Paper Tiger Online?
All of the databases are backed up to Amazon Web Services server. In addition to that, we have an in-house box, kind of like that is encrypted. All of the databases are backed up to that every 15 minutes. That is password protected and encrypted. So we have, and in addition to that, we also back up everything every week to a disk and carry off-site in case something here happens to the office and that kind of thing. So we have 3 redundancies in most everything of ours.
All right, so leave it to the professionals to take care of your backup. Let that not be one of the extra worries that you have in your business. With using the collaboration of the Digital Tiger, Paper Tiger, and Google Docs, your information will be available and backed up. So, what am I offering here? What are we all looking at? We're looking at freedom. We're looking at an easier lifestyle. Coincidentally, I had an interview with a book yesterday, and they were interviewing me as a productivity consultant, and they said, what is it that, how do you keep people organized with personal productivity and the professional productivity? And the reality is, it's very difficult to separate the lines anymore. We are essentially not quite 24/7, but you know what I'm saying, that mobility and accessibility is a way of business life today. And you want the freedom to be able to access that information. One of the, actually I've had the pleasure of working with one gentleman who was on this call, and he took advantage of my 30-day coaching program, and it was really funny that he was telling me how when he would leave his office, he would print out all the documents that he needed so he could leave at 3:30 or 4 o'clock and go to his child's soccer game. He was literally still, in 2011, printing out pieces of paper to review in his briefcase when he got to the game. And I'm happy to say that in the last few weeks, after we've been working with the concept of Paper Tiger, Digital Tiger, and Google Docs, he went out and bought himself an iPad, and he's able to access those documents now through Google Docs and the search engine of Digital Tiger to access that information. We could have used the option of a smartphone, and for those of you that have a smartphone, you can use that as well. But as you know, it's a littler screen and sometimes a little bit harder to work off of. But we are offering you freedom to be able to find your information when you need it and not be tied to your office. And with that freedom comes credibility, because you're showing up prepared. You're no longer losing money because you are losing a client, or you're having to spend time and money looking for things that are just not available that easily, or you're spending your energy driving back to your office or somewhere else to get information. Now, if you want to go forward with Digital Tiger is free with a paid subscription to Paper Tiger Online pricing, with Paper Tiger Online. Did you hear that? It's free with the cost of Paper Tiger Online. Now, I do want to put that footnote there that if you have extra storage needs, you might have to spend an extra $5 a year with Google, maybe a little bit more. So here is the pricing of Paper Tiger Online, and I recommend that you just get started. Get started with this program so that you can start finding your files quickly. And I'm also recommending that you start using it, be repetitive with your using this. Make it part of your habit that you're accessing your Paper Tiger Online daily, and you're using the Google ecosystem daily as part of your new business practices. And keep practicing those so that you are going to be a more efficient worker. Now, you need to make a decision if this is the right product for you, and if you are having headaches with not being able to find paper or electronic information, I believe that this is the right decision, and as long as you move forward and start learning about it, you can change your life by incorporating these new systems into place. How do you get started? You can email the Paper Tiger or go to thepapertiger.com. Is that correct still, Janet, on how to get onto the beta testing so that they can move forward?
Yes, that is correct. They can sign up for beta testing from the contest page, which is the link you have here, www.thepapertiger.com/contest.
And with that contest, you're also qualifying for that iPad, so you can move forward with that as well. I'm going to have an introduction. I'm going to have questions and answers here in just a second. And while we're doing question and answers, I'm leaving up the screen that if you want to contact me, again, I am offering introductory assessments and implementation coaching to prospective users and current users of Paper Tiger and Digital Tiger. That program is only $297 for a 30-day program, which consists of 4 weekly phone calls of an hour each and unlimited email. I also offer a free 30-minute phone consultation to all participants on this call, and I will provide a tip sheet on some basics on how to get started. And here's my contact information on how to get a hold of me. In the meantime, we've got a few minutes left, about 5 minutes left, and in your GoToWebinar screen there's a section called Questions. If you would like to type in a question, please feel free to do so. We will address those quickly, and if we do not address them, we will update them on the Paper Tiger blog so that you can get a response to your question. So do we have any questions that have come in that I don't say, Janet?
We have one that I've already actually answered while you were talking, and that question was about the ScanSnap S1300 instead of the S1500 that we demonstrated. He's asking, will the ScanSnap S1300 also work, and do you need a Twain driver? The software, the scanning software, whatever scanner that you have, usually comes with everything you need to scan your documents. Okay, so you need to check with your scanner manufacturer to find out if they have updated any software to where you can scan it directly to Google Docs. However, if it does not scan directly to Google Docs, it's okay. You can scan it to your desktop and then upload it to Google Docs, which is, not a problem at all.
Wonderful. Any other questions here?
The ScanSnap driver is a Twain driver. It works with Twain. So if you're used to Twain drivers, ScanSnap is also all Fujitsu scanners are Twain drivers.
Okay. And again, the software that comes with your scanner will have everything you need. The reason that we are recommending the ScanSnap 1500 is we have tested so many scanners out there, and the Fujitsu ScanSnap 1500 is by far the absolute best scanner that we have found anywhere. So it's fast. You don't hardly have, like 99% of the time it is jam-free, and it's just a very fast and efficient scanner. So that's why we're recommending that. We have a comment that says, this is not a question, but just as FYI, that that we may know about, and we do know about it, but a lot of offices won't allow access to things like Google Docs because of the risk of downloading docs from external sources. We have heard about this, and we know that that is an issue. But again, the main reason that we have chosen Google Docs is because of it is the least expensive digital storage that you will find, digital cloud storage. For people that are going to the cloud, this is the best solution. There's a lot of document management solutions out there, but you're going to pay heavily for them.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And the Google ecosystem, like Ann spoke about earlier, is a very secure system. Your files are always secure and backed up. And to log into Google Gmail, it uses HTTPS, which is a SSL certificate. So it's certified. It's a very secure login, and logging into Gmail is very secure as far as web standards go.
Mm-hmm. As you said, it's anything that has the HTTPS on it is a secure environment. And, it is a cultural choice. And every business will have their own way of wanting to manage their business. And it's not for everyone. But I'm going to say Motorola is using Google Docs. So how much bigger can it get? Well, it can get bigger. But that's a pretty darn big company. So if a huge organization like Motorola is using Google Docs for their enterprise system, I would assume it's pretty safe because with all their technology information and their trade secrets and what they're developing, they probably want just as secure an environment as you do.
Right, and we have another example. We haven't got it posted to our blog yet, but of a newspaper who is using Google Docs for their workflow and collaboration and everything. So, you know, while we're not trying to convince you that it's the right way to go, and we know that there are high security standards with different companies, and it just depends on what the belief of their IT department is. Okay, we want to move on to the next question. Someone wants to know if we can go over the email real quick again. That basically is because we've chosen Google ecosystem and the Google app ecosystem, we will be able to add all of the apps, or as many of the apps that Google allows you to API into for Digital Tiger. So in the future, it will not be right away, but in the future you will be able to search not only what you've indexed into Paper Tiger, but what you have into Google Docs. You will be able to search your email and later on Google Calendar and some of the other Google apps from one place, and that would be Digital Tiger. Of course, you know, you will have the two accounts, like Ann said before, Paper Tiger Online and your Google account, and Digital Tiger connects the two to be able to search all of those apps. And again, we're starting with Google Docs because we want to document management, but we will be adding from there. Okay?
Okay. All right, if there's any additional questions, please email us and we will address them for future webinars. We will have another webinar in about 2 weeks, and that'll be sent via email to our list here so that you can get on it again or pass it on to your organization. And I have nothing, I have lots more I can tell you, but I promised you an hour, and I value your time. So thank you for attending. Janet, give you closing comments.
Sure, Ann, great job. We appreciate your time and the helpful tips. We have published on our support portal the step-by-step instructions. I believe you can go there and how to get started with Google and how to get started with Digital Tiger. And we hope to get out of beta as soon as possible. Those that have already been invited to beta test, we need your feedback, and as soon as we get as much feedback as we can, we will push that beta out to the app, and you'll be able to work with it live. Okay, everyone, again, Ann, thank you so much. I have pasted Ann's contact information into the chat section, so pick that up. I'll also have that posted on our website in the blog under the webinars category, and also Ann McGurty has a category on our blog. You can pick up her information from there. Please take Ann up on her special offering to all attendees who contact her. You can't beat 33 minutes along with the special deal that she's offering, and you'll be working more productive in no time. Thank you again for attending today's webinar. Again, we will be posting everything to our website. Please feel free to give us your feedback by emailing us at sales, that's S-A-L-E-S, sales@thepapertiger.com. All right, everybody, thanks again. We appreciate you using Paper Tiger, and have a great week.
All right, thanks, Janet. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, Ann.